Right, so we're here now. The first thing we need is the font, because if we realize the font from the previous or the finished product was not this one. So now how did I get my font? I went to Google font, boom, and then I looked for a font called Raza. Nice, good stuff. And then I selected this and this, and then I copied the embedded. You can follow along. You can pause the video and follow along. Oh, actually, I want it to be. So this is for HTML. You copy this into your HTML tag, like you copy and paste it up here. But I want to use it in the CSS because I don't want to go back to the HTML. So right, you just, oops, don't copy the style tag. Just copy this, boom. And you're golden. Load, arrive. So now, yep, I used Alt Z to wrap everything. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can press Alt Z and you'll figure it out. Right. So now it's here. We have our font. But now how do we use it? This is how we use it. We copy it. So now in the body, whoops, in the body, I want us to have this. So now, boom, everything changes. Okay. So now what do we need? We need the body to have width so it can display at all times 100% of that width. So now the width will be 100 view width. It could be any amount you want, like if you have a specific one, but I'd like to use 100 width, 100 view width. And then the height, same concept, 100 view height. So it sees 100% of the screen at any time. But remember, this is not responsive, so it does not really apply like that. So now if we realize the colors are a bit different, the body's color. So I'm going to do that by using background color, background color of hashtag F6 FBFE. Cool. It's not really, you can't really see it, but you'll realize something. Don't worry about it. Yeah, there's that. So now we'll start. Navbar. What is in the navbar? So remember, I mentioned that there's flex. We're gonna use flex for the navbar. So display flex. Boom. See, it snapped to the right because it made it all horizontal. Everything in the navbar, which are the logo and the links. Awesome. What next? So now I need them to be spaced. I need there to be space between them. So justify content, space around. If you watch my previous video, you'll understand why it's working like this. Right, so the next thing will be to make the links come down. So we're going to use align items center, right? Boom, easy. Then we need a margin for it. The margin I use is 50 pixels, but it's your own preference. Nice. That's all round, four-sided. You could use margin top or whatever you want to do with the code. Then we have a width of 100%. So basically it inherits from the body. Remember, we gave it a width and height, so it will just inherit from there. So now what's the next thing we could do? I remember we said the logo is too big, right? So now we're gonna fix that by doing this. So width 250 pixels, which is the width, and then the height will be 100 pixels. Right, so it looks a bit sleek, simple, nice. So now I want it to be a cursor when I hover over it. So how do we do that? We take the tag, logo image, should be image, then we add a pseudo class of hover, and how that's all. And then we say cursor pointer. Boom, magic. Look at that. All right. Then now we're gonna have to style the links to look like how we saw them in the finished product, right? So how do we start? So now we start by saying links, li, list style, oops, none. Just remove all the bullets in the list. So that's all we need for there. And now we go to the A tag, links A, right? And now what do we want? We want the text decoration to be none. That is the underline we're looking at. Decoration, none. And then we want the color of the text in the links to be black, right? Boom. Working like magic. And now we want the size of it, the font size, oops, to be 45 pixels maybe? Yep, boom, works like magic. Let me turn it down a bit. 35, 35 is fine. And now let's add the hover effect first before we split them all the way to the end. So we can do this by saying links, oops, links hover like we mentioned before. Then the color would be hashtag EF, oh sorry, E5, E5B, C9B. Now when I hover over it, oops, right. So it's not working because you didn't add the A, right? Boom, magic. Okay. Oh, I forgot a crucial point. Okay, so the reason I forget it's not splitting is because we have to style the UL. My bad, guys. My bad. Do not flame me in the comments section. Thank you. Appreciate all of you. So we're gonna add a display flex. Oops, flex to them, so it can all split inside, and then we justify content space evenly, right? The reason that's not working is because there's no space inside of it. So now we can give it a width of 600 pixels, maybe. Oh, nice, nice. Let's make it a bit less, maybe 500. Yeah. Okay, let's just make it 550. I feel generous. Nice. Remember, it's all like this, so 550. Right. Okay, that's cool. And then what do we do next? Okay, so we're done with this here. We're done with the navigation bar. That was very simple. Right, so now we're gonna be working on this. Remember it was big and then the pet word had a different color. So now we're gonna see what the span I brought into the H1 tag is gonna be used for, right? Exactly. So we're gonna, it's called, if I'm not wrong, whoops, called big text. And then the big text has a margin top. Margin top of 50 pixels. So this only spaces the top, nothing else, right? So margin top, then text align center because I want it to be horizontally centered. So text align, oops, center. So now it was a very big text and I used font, oops, font size of, I think it was like a 70 pixel, right? Yep, it was. Awesome, great. So now everything is black, but we got to fix this. So now this is where the span tag comes in. It's used to modify uh, texts in text. Let's take it as that. Don't take it out of context. So big text, oops, text, span, color, and then remember we had a color right here. Where is it? This one. Boom. Awesome. So we're done with this, and now, right, we're cool. We're vibing. Um, right. So now we're gonna be moving on to the image here. Okay. So now what do we have? We have the style of image itself, right? Oops, that's supposed to be a class hero image, and then image again because it's an image. Sorry, width, and then we give it a width of this, then maybe a height of this for 68 pixels. What else? A display of block, so we can have it. Oops, that was not supposed to happen. Block, and then a margin of left, maybe auto, and then a margin. Oops, a margin right of auto. Oops, auto. Nice. It's nice and centered. Let's go, boys. Okay. Right. So now we're gonna be styling the button. Okay. So now this is not hard. We're just gonna start by saying, oops, button. Gonna call it. Then after that, we're gonna remove the borders. Border none. Cool. See, there's nothing here. And then what else do we need? Let's say outline none. So when we click on it, we don't have any weird outlines, right? Oops. Okay, what else do we need? We need to change the width. The width of it should be 175 pixels, right? That's how wide it is. And now the height will be 80 pixels. Not hard. Yep, easy. And now it should have a border radius. Oops, border radius of 30 pixels. Nice, looking fresh. And then now we're going to add the color and font family to it. Font family first. And then we had Raza. Let's just copy this one. I just copied and pasted. You can do that. Control C, Control V. Boom, changed. Background color. The background color. Whoops, my bad. Color of let's copy this right here. Right. Boom. Nice. But now we see that the font is too small in it, right? So now we're gonna give it a font size 35 pixels. 35 pixels. Whoa, that's a bit big, right? So let's just tone it down to 30. Nice, looking nice. And then what else? The font weight. So 700, so you can see how big it is. And then what else? What else? Yeah. So now we have to make it hover over the image, right? So how do we do this? Now, first of all, we need to add position. So first of all, we need to add position absolute to this one. Position absolute. It hovers over everything. That's okay. So now how do we fix that? We do that by giving the hero image a position of relative, right? So we can use some properties to push it to the top. A left, we want to push it away from the left. How many pixels? We want that with maybe, let's try 100 to see where, 110 to see where it goes. Boom, and move left a little bit. Nice. So now what's the actual measurement I used, so what were the exact measurements I used? I used 680 pixels to center it. And then from the top, move to the top by auto. Nope. 200 pixels. Nice. Right, nice. So we're done with that. And then now remember it changes, like it expands and all that. So now how do we do that? We do that by, first of all, adding a transition. Well, for me, I like to use transition property. So it's like it stores like the properties you're going to be using. Transition properties. First, we're going to be changing the background, and then the width, and then the height. Nice. So now there'll be a transition of ease in by 1 second. Yep, see, you can see it happening here. Look here. Nice, we're vibing. But now, the things that have to change will be in the hover effect. Well, hovers, right. So we still have to define background, right? Background of black. So we know what the background will be. And then the width will be 180 pixels, right? So when we hover over it, it grows a little bit, becomes black. Nice. But now we're not done. So there's the height that has to change by maybe 5 pixels. And then what else? Remember the color changed too. So the color has to be a hashtag here. Let me just copy this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing all that. That's for what? Nice. See, looking fresh. Nice. It should be background color. Nice. Does not really change anything. Just makes the code cleaner. And then we realize it's not a pointer because every button is supposed to be a pointer. So boom, changes. So now we're going to be working on this. I mentioned we're going to be using grids. So info, remember the tag. So we have a width of 1000 pixels, just to be specific. See how it rearranges. Nice. So then we then add a display of grid. Nothing really happens, but it's affected. Just know that. Nice. So now what do we want? We want it to be centered a little bit. So we say margin, whoops, margin auto. See what it does here? It figures out everything. So don't worry about how it's fixed now. It'll figure it out as we move on. Margin auto. And then we want the top of here to have a bit of a margin between the image and the text. So margin top, you can give it that property. And we gave it a property of maybe 40 pixels. Cool. Yep, nice little space. Nice. So what do we need next? Now, if we watch my previous video, you'll understand that you can use this simple thing called grid template columns. Whoops. Columns. Whoops, I can't spell. Okay. And then there is a property called repeat. So now how many columns do we want to repeat? We want 3 columns to repeat, and their sizes should be 300 pixels. Whoops, pixels. Nice. You see how it overlaps here? We're going to fix that. Right. So now, what do? We need to give it rows also, because it's a grid. Grid can be with one side. It has 2 sides. That's why I mentioned it's a 2D type thing. Right. So how do we do this? We say grid. Actually, okay. So for this time, we're not going to be using the rows because I want to use a different path. It's unorthodox, but hey, it still works. Right. So grid gap of 30 pixels. Nice, looks clean. Right, so we're done here. Now, all the styling is going to be happening in the boxes. So, um, dot box, a border radius, 30 pixels, right? 30 pixels. And then a margin. We want to center it, a margin of auto, right? Right, so you see the top is all aligned, looking fresh, boys. And then we give it a background color because remember it was looking clean, matte clean. So the color will be this one. Boom. So now we have to add a little bit of a height to it, right? So now how we do that is by adding maybe a height of 300 pixels. Height of 300 pixels. Nice. So we're gonna pad inside too, because we don't want this to happen. So padding of 20 pixels all around. Nice. So you see how it looks clean. I'll add more text so it can be full. So now I'm gonna copy this and just change the names because I can. Okay. So now we're gonna style the image, the box 4 image. So put it here, box 4. We have a width. I'm changing the width to 630 pixels because that's what I use for production. 630 pixels. And then the height will be 360. Okay, so now the box 5 is going to have more properties. So first of all, it's going to be longer. The width should be thicker. So width of 270 pixels maybe. There. Actually, it's supposed to be 200, then 300. Yep. So now we're going to have a margin left. Margin left of 350 pixels. So why is it not working? Right, I think I forgot to add this image. Boom, nice, looking fresh. Right, so remember it was a bit longer. So let's make this height a bit more. 10, nope. 50, nope. Maybe a 60, nice. Oh yeah, nice. I just maybe add like a 70, see? Clean. Nice. So now we're done with all this, looking nice. Well, we've done a lot. And then we're gonna be doing the footer. So what do we want in the footer? So the footer should have a display of flags. Okay. Now we're gonna be doing the footer. We did the display flags. Now justify content in space evenly. So it measures what we want. Right, looking nice. Okay, so since we have the structure already, we have we give it a full width of 100%. Not really necessary, but kind of is. This is a weird thing. So background color, whoops, color of this, whoops. Right, supposed to be this. Boom, boom, nice. Okay, I forgot to add a margin bond to the info. Yeah. So maybe let's give it a margin bottom. bottom of 40 pixels. This sounds good. Yep, nice. So let me uh, change the size of this a little bit. 360. Yeah, this works. 360 is fine. Right. So now we have the color, we have the flex. Then what else do we need? Let's give it a height so it can be a bit full. So 200 pixel will be nice. Okay, nice. Now we're gonna be working on this. Cool. Now the first thing we had socials. Socials, and we want it to come down a little bit, right? So margin, oops, margin top of 25 pixels will be okay. Nice. It looks almost full. And then that's basically all we need. And then we socials. Maybe the font size should change. Font size should change to maybe 40 pixels. That'll be nice. Nice. Whoops. I think that's too much. Okay, let's make it a 35. 35. Whoops. I meant 35, but hey, 30 works too. Right? So now the socials. Wait, the font weight should be thick too. Font weight should be maybe. Yeah, this works. That works. All right. And then what else? Then we have the P socials. P. Whoops. Should be it was supposed to be a class. So font size. The font size should be 30 pixels. Right? So that's for the pet hub right here. 30 pixels. Then what else we need? We need it to have a font weight of 700 because it's extra thick. Okay, 700. I'll explain all this in the future if you want me to. Drop a like if you want me to explain more of what font weights and other little petty stuffs are, right? Nice. So now we have icons. Icons, image, icons and images. Oh, we have let's give it a little margin top. Oops, I said yup. Top of maybe, let's give it a little some, like a little 14 pixels. That was, oops, 14 pixels. Nice. Give it a little space. That's too much. Let's make it 10. Okay. Just change the weight right now. Height to 20. Haha. Got it. 30 will be fine. Yep, 230 is fine. Oh yeah, this is annoying, so let's take it out. We're gonna do it here. HTML overflow X. Actually, I'm looking for overflow X, and then I don't want to see it, so hidden. So, yep, this looks better. No more horizontal bar, right? So the image should have a margin top of 10 pixels. Then what else do we want? I think we should have the width of 50 pixels. Whoops, pixels. Yep, so let's give it a nice little height of 52. 50 pixels. Whoops, pixels. Nice, it looks wholesome. Yeah, so there's that. It's not go anywhere, but we can add like a link to it so it could go places, right? So now we're gonna be doing the same thing for but before that, we're gonna add a hover cursor effect to the the images, or should I say the icons, really. Icons. Whoops, that's supposed to be this. It must be icon. Image. Whoops. Images. Hover. Whoops. Hover. Cursor. pointer. Nice, looks clean. All right, so now this. What do we have next? Then numbers has a margin top of 15 pixels, of course. I mean 25 pixels. 25 pixels. Uh-huh, nice. And then numbers H1, like the header. Forgot to add numbers. H1. It should have a font size of 40 pixels, I think. 40 pixels would be nice, right? Oops. 40 pixels, okay. And let's make it match the first H1. Its size, so maybe wait, I forgot to add H1. Shite. Wait a minute. Ooh. Right, so since it's an H1, freaking. Ooh. Right, so 30 pixels, right? And then the font weight, let me just copy this. Nice. It matches. Nice, nice. Okay. Okay. Then what else? What else? We have numbers H1. We have the header, then we have the paragraphs. Oops, I got two dots. Two dots. And then font size. The font size should be 25 pixels, maybe. Let's see. A little bit small. But wait. Right. So 25 pixels. Then we have the font weight. Font weight should be 600. Whoops. Nice. And then there's a problem. I want to style this only, but it's also a P. So what do? I go back to my HTML. Then what I do is add a class to the P. I'll call that class maybe mail. Whoops. Mail. So mail. So now I'm going to call it numbers. And then inside the numbers is, oops, there's mail. Whoops. What did I type? Mail. Whoops. There's mail. So font size 30 pixels, right? Then it should be should have a font weight thicker. So font, oops, font weight. This sounds right. This sounds right about it. I like it. Right. So what next? Then we have location. Location should be a margin top of 25. And then font size should be 30 pixels. Oh, nice. And then what else? The look. I want the look to be having that nice little thing effect. So I'm gonna give it a whoops, that's a bad text, width of 110 pixels. So I give it like a little box. So it can be like this. But now I have to change um, the the paragraph tags. Okay. Size of 25 pixels. Boom. So 20, 23. Yep, 23 sounds right about good now. Let me just change this to 24, maybe. Yeah, okay. So, okay, I think we're done. We built a little landing site. Sorry if it took longer than expected. I love you guys. So, I hope you learned something from this simple project. There will be a link to the code and also the resources, the images I used in this in the description. Drop a like, subscribe for more content, and comment what you would like to see. Very soon, I'll be bringing new content, more lifestyle content. So please subscribe and share this video if you have a friend who wants to learn web dev. So appreciate it. Thank you. Love you guys, and have a great day. Peace.